everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the From the Farmyard podcast. Today, it is a very, very special day. We're going to be talking about our 1 year anniversary as being a podcast. And yeah, we have a bunch of things planned, and we cannot wait to talk about all of them with you guys. And yeah, let's just have a good time.
Seriously. And we've had a good time for a whole year now, which is absolutely crazy to think about. I'll say that. I think that it's just weird. A year? Nah, it doesn't feel like it. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun along the way. We've accomplished a lot of goals. We've just I don't know. I feel like we've just done really well for 1 year, and we're gonna be here for a lot longer than 1 year. So we hope you guys stick around for that. But let's talk about. I know we've done episodes on it before, but let's kind of touch on the beginning and how we started the podcast. We've talked about why we started a podcast and like our friendship, how we became friends, and all that stuff. But like, let's talk about like that
for this episode.
Yeah, let's talk about like that first episode and like what was put into that. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
The first episode was really weird to film. Before we had even started getting into filming and everything, we had only really talked for like a month and a half, if that. And one of us had brought up the idea. Neither one of us can really remember who brought it up, but one of us brought it up, and then the other person was like, "Hey, I've been thinking about that." And then we asked, "Do you want to do a podcast together?" And we were like, "Sure." And From the Farmyard was born. But before that, after that whole conversation, never FaceTimed, never did anything like that. October 13th, we sat down and we talked for, I think it was like 2 hours the first time. And then we filmed that first episode, and I think it went up that same day, pretty short, but those 2 hours we had never spoken before outside of Instagram. It was all completely new to us. We had never seen each other. Well, we'd seen each other in like posts and things like that, but like never like actually had a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
Together. So it was very weird.
And if you watch that video now, it's so like we're both like it wasn't like awkward like it was, but it's just like we were both so nervous because it was a first time thing. You know, we'd never FaceTime before, and we were both very nervous. I didn't want to hit the call button. I was so nervous.
We could have been a lot more nervous if we would have, like, in that first video, if we would have just filmed right away and not had that 2 hour conversation beforehand.
Yeah.
It would have been much weirder than what it was. But I'm glad we had that conversation, breaking the ice and things like that.
Yeah, because it really was after like the first 15 minutes of like awkwardness, just like, oh my gosh, like it's just kind of weird. I've never called you before. It was just like so normal. And I know, like, I feel like not only us, but I feel like people might see it too. I think we have definitely connected from like the start. And another thing, we'd never, I don't know if you said that, but we obviously had never met in person. We didn't meet in person until like
6 months of the podcast had already been going.
Yeah.
I think it was 7 months.
Yeah.
7 months after that is when we met. So it was like, didn't know each other. First time we started talking was like a month before that, just messaging every day consistently and not spotty messages here and there for a few months.
Exactly.
But it
was also new. It was also new, but we just clicked. And after that, it was like episodes started getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah.
I learned how to edit better than what I did, because I think if you watch that video, there is no intro. And if it is, it's just a screen with music on it. We've kept the same music, but our intro has gotten better.
More sophisticated.
But that's the thing with growth, you know, like you got to start somewhere. And, you know, let's like compare it to, because we're a gardening channel, like we started with a seed. We planted that seed, let's start a podcast. And then it started to grow. And then it was like, man, like I want to do better for you guys. And I thought, let me start looking into better editing. And I did research, and we tried to do our best, and we still do. Our goal is to give you, our viewers, the best content that we can offer, and to be able to educate and teach you through these videos. And so, what started as a seed has now become this vine that's just going crazy. It's just like, it's overwhelming, but it's so cool to see it just like growing like crazy. And it's awesome. It's such a great experience.
Agreed.
And our first video too, I'll say this, because when we started, your first video, it's like, it won't get a lot of views. Like, no, our first video was shared and stuff because we just started, and our first video got 125. It's up to 125 views. And to some, like, that's like, that's not a lot at all. But I mean, for a first video, that's great. And
Yeah.
I'll say this, if 125 people showed up at my door, I'd be freaking out, like, that's, if 30 people if one person showed up at my door, I'd have a panic attack, honestly.
Me too.
But 125 people watched our video. And I'm not saying y'all watched it all the way through. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But it was
We don't
just,
look at YouTube analytics because
no,
they're depressing.
no.
But
Sometimes it is depressing, but you know what? The overall 125.
Exactly.
It's great, and it's very, we just appreciate the support. And we'll say that a lot in this video, because we wouldn't be where we are if it weren't for you guys constantly supporting us, and just us, our passions, just pushing us to want to do this more and more. And we're super grateful for that. Super duper grateful.
Very grateful.
So, along the way, we've hit a lot of milestones, and we've, accomplished goals that we set that we didn't think we'd accomplish in 1 year, but obviously we have, and now we've set that bar higher, and every year we're going to continue to set that bar higher. So this year, we hit 100 subscribers, and we're over that now. We're at 150 something. I don't particularly know, but I think it's 55. 155 subscribers in 1 year. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome. Again, 155 of you are here. And, to subscribe means that you're dedicated. You want to see more, in my opinion, unless you accidentally clicked it. If you did, I mean, either way, we're glad you're here.
Exactly.
But, like, it was just that the day that we saw it hit 100, we were just both like freaking out, because it's just like the coolest...
We freaked out when we hit like 5. When we hit 10, we freaked out. When we hit 20, we freaked out.
Exactly.
It was constant freak. When we got 1 view on the video, it was exciting for us. Still is exciting for us. And we're just, through that period, I know when we hit 100, we were both like just in awe. Just like, that really happened. And yeah, it was exciting for all of us. Do you want to explain the story of how we hit 100?
How we hit 100. Now, obviously, we had a lot of support from our friends and family. And, whenever you guys share that video, it's super helpful, right? But we set a goal, and I had told my grandmother, who I call Gusta. Okay, now my Gusta was like, I'm going to help these kids get to 100. Because she knew, like, for YouTube, you have to have, like, you have to hit certain milestones to, like, be able to unlock features. So we had to hit 100 to do some like YouTube live streams. So we wanted to do that. So we were like, well, let's hit 100. And obviously we're very dedicated with our content. So that was something obviously that we ourselves could do, but we share our videos. And after that, it was like, well, we hope people see these and we hope they subscribe. So I had told my Gusta, like, hey, we want to hit 100, and that's just our goal right now. And she was like, okay, I got you. And she took our videos, and she took our channel and she was posting it on Facebook. She was sending it in groups, and she was just like, it was just super awesome to see her just supporting us in that way. And it was just really like, and it was definitely a blessing for sure, hitting 100 that fast. So we were very grateful for that, and to see that we've stuck with the 100 has stayed. It stayed at 100, and now we're over that. It's very awesome, and we're super grateful for that. And shout out to Augusta. We love you, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
thank you for that. Big huge fan right there. We gotta get her something for that. But yeah, that's how we hit 100, and it was just a super awesome moment. And now we're 155 subscribers in, a year in. We have 84 videos on YouTube. 84.
That's including podcasts, vlogs,
shorts,
all
of that. And that's another thing. We've brought new content to the channel. We were able to bring shorts and reels to Instagram. We were able to not only do podcasts, but expand from that and do garden tours, tutorials, like vlogs, and we even brought on special guests. You want to talk about the guests that we were able to bring on?
We were able to bring on Reagan's cousin, Ocean, who is super knowledgeable about chickens. Absolute
goat.
Amazing person to talk to.
Greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. Ocean J, shout out to you, buddy. I want to see you back on this podcast sometime. We loved having you, and we'd love to see you again, like, for sure. Like, definitely want to have that kid back on. He's super smart. If you haven't seen that video, watch it, because it's awesome.
We'll have a few videos linked in the description, ones that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Another special guest that we had on is Molly from chickens.org.
One of our friends, yeah.
That was a very great episode, and so happy that we were able to do that. It was somebody that neither one of us had ever really seen before.
We've never met. I've talked to her. We've talked a lot. We've never met. But I was like, let's bring on some special guests. We had talked about it. Like, that'd be such a cool way to reach their followers and reach our followers and just connect on that. Because sometimes why we like to bring on special guests is to expand beyond our knowledge. We're only able to teach you from our experiences and from what we understand and what we've learned and the knowledge that we know. And that's as far as we can teach you. So to be able to bring on people like Molly, people like Ocean, they can teach you from their experiences, or just talk about chickens or farming or whatever, and that's another reason we want to bring on more special guests, which we'll tell you at the end of this video. We have some ideas swirling around in our brains that we're going to see about bringing to the channel. So stay to the end and we'll tell you more about that. But doing that with Molly was super awesome. It was just a lot of fun, and we'd love to have her back, definitely, and have a lot more special guests back as well.
Yes.
Let's talk about our favorite episodes on the channel. We've done a lot of episodes. I know I went out of order, but it's okay. It's just kind of led into it. Let's talk about our favorite episodes. This will be episode 36
of the podcast. Yes.
Of the podcast, yeah. So out of all 36, which one is your favorite?
I can't remember the name of it.
11. Was it 11?
No, it wasn't 11.
No, that was the other. That was the. Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
I can't remember what it was right now. I really can't.
Okay, think about it. I'll say mine.
Okay, yeah, go. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, 36 episodes. It's hard to remember every single one. Okay, my favorite episode is I don't know the episode exactly. I think it was 24. Is permaculture.
I can look right now if you give me 1 second.
Permaculture and self-sufficiency and learning how to be self-sustaining. I think the reason I like that one the most is because it really tied into a lot of other episodes. And we had talked about permaculture before we did this episode. And it was like maybe people were questioning, what is permaculture? Like, what is this? What does this mean? What is this word? Like, what is this? And just being able to do that video about permaculture, and then after we explained what permaculture was, it really connected the dots for all the other episodes that we were about to do, because I know we referenced it a lot in the other episodes, because permaculture is huge. It's a huge part of homesteading and farming, agriculture in general. It's a huge part. And I think it's a really great episode for people to just kind of understand what that means and to organize. I mean, permaculture is a great plan to organize your farm and your setup and everything, get everything working properly, and it gives you a really great understanding for, the other episodes and for homesteading and agriculture. It's just that personally is my favorite episode, simply because I think it was a very helpful and knowledgeable episode. And obviously that's our goal, is to be educational for y'all, and to have that, to connect the dots and kind of be able to reference that and say, hey, if you don't know what this is, go back and watch this video, because it'll open your eyes to a whole nother world of agriculture. And that was just, I would have to say permaculture was my favorite episode that we've done. But do you have yours now?
One? Yeah, you had another one that
I mean,
like.
I liked I've done a lot of episodes, but I'd have to say that one's my top favorite. But for like second, I like the egg crisis, which was episode 14. I think it was 14. I don't know specifically. But the egg crisis, and the reason I like that is because it was an episode of something going on in the now, in the, like, with the times. People were confused. Why is there an egg shortage? Well, here we come, and we're giving you content based on that and be like, hey, this is what's happening. And I like to be able to educate people from things that are going on, so it calms their minds. So an area where they would have been like alarmed, like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, egg shortage. Like, calm down. Here's what's happening. Let's, open your eyes a little bit more to the behind the scenes of what's actually happening. Yeah. And that would have to be my second favorite, but those two for sure, top favorites. But you want to go?
My favorite episode would be the garden layout. I can't remember the exact episode that it was, but for sure one of my favorite episodes, just because it explains where to do things specifically, not specifically, because there's no like set rules to that. You don't have to follow what somebody else does. You can do your own things. You can invent your own way of gardening. I use kiddie pools. A lot of people don't. A lot of people do in ground or in raised beds. Kiddie pools are just a cheaper, more efficient way, in my opinion, of putting everything together and using what space you have to the best of your ability. Because maybe your soil isn't the best, so you have to do something raised anyways. And instead of getting the materials, especially when wood prices were high, it was a good way. And we also just talk about where to put things based on our experience of putting squash in the middle of your garden. It's going to take over. And so we never advise to do that. If you have to, yeah, of course, there are exceptions where you can do it, just prune it back if you can, things like that. But what happened. We talked about what happens if you do that. It can take over your entire garden. So just looking at things like that, but also really getting into it and saying you can discover your own way of gardening. There's no set course to what you have to do. Some people do tomato walls. You do tomato cages over each of your plants. A great way to do it. Tomato walls are a great way to do it. If you can't do either one of those and you let them go, like 1 year, my first year doing them, my second year doing them outside of buckets, they had It took over an entire 7x5 space. Planted them all. I was supposed to get out and put up the trellises for them. It got to we had rain a lot that first year, which sucked because I just couldn't be out there as much as I had wanted to. And if it was sunny, then we were out doing something else besides that. So it was being like, okay, this is how it is, but I still harvested a lot of food from that. Wasn't ideal, but you can still get food even if you let a few plants like that go. If you focus on the main stuff, like you had a bunch of volunteers this year, like there's so
Yeah.
many tomato volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't put tomato cages over every single one. You had to tear some out and things like that. But it's things like that that's like I think it's reassuring to a lot of gardeners where it's like, hey, I can take a minute. I don't need to grow tomatoes if I don't like tomatoes. I don't need to grow cucumbers if I don't want to grow tomatoes, or cucumbers if I don't want to grow cucumbers. Things like that is just it's really reassuring because I feel like a lot of people get caught up in, hey, tomatoes are one of the best foods that you can grow in the area. Well, I need to grow tomatoes then, or it gets cooler here, so cucumbers are going to be best. Grow what you want to grow. Just know that some things might not do the best, so you might want to overcompensate for that and grow twice as much, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a long explanation, but you got the point.
No, that was a really good episode. We've done a lot of episodes.
Yeah, the permaculture one would be my second favorite with that, just because it really did connect everything together because we had mentioned permaculture, but we'd never really given it a set definition.
Yeah.
And like, hey, this is the definition. This is what we've been referring to. This is how you can apply it. This is how you can make things the most efficient that they can be. Well, the most efficient for your space, because it's not making things efficient is going to be completely different for everybody. So making your own set way of being sufficient,
Right.
being efficient while being self-sufficient. It's a
Yeah.
mouthful.
No, yeah. No, we've done a lot of episodes, and main goal for us is that hopefully these episodes educated you as much as we educated ourselves in the process of this, because I didn't fully know what permaculture was until I did a bunch of research, and then it opened my eyes and I was like, so that's what this is. And I was like, you're doing this, you just didn't know what this was called. And then once I understood it a little bit better, then I was able to go from my experiences and be like, here's what you got to do, guys. And then I also put it into practice on my property and on our farm. And it was just like, just being able to, while we're teaching you, we're also teaching ourselves. We're learning a whole bunch of stuff along the way. And I think that's another thing that's so awesome about this. And even when we do bring more special guests on, they'll be able to teach us things along with teaching you guys things. And obviously the whole point, exactly, the whole point of this channel is to inspire and to educate. And that's our goal. And we hope that we're able to do that for you guys. But let's talk about some of our funny moments on the channel. We've had a lot of bloopers here on the podcast.
Reagan cuts a lot of them out that you guys don't see.
Okay.
But you do take some of them just because we laugh a lot. You guys don't see that.
If it's in the middle, I don't cut anything in the middle. I just cut at the beginning and the end, and this is all raw. Like if you there's like areas where we're just talking. Like that's a blooper right there, and we're just gonna leave it in because I don't care. You know what? This is raw. This is us. This is the podcast.
Exactly.
So I do try to keep most of them. If I don't, like, we've made them into reels before too, shorts on YouTube. There's a couple that we've made into shorts. But let's talk about our favorite moments here on the podcast, like our funny ones. Do you want to go first?
I can go first. Mine it was episode 11, like she had mentioned earlier. was the don't remember what the episode was exactly, but it was I said
Recap of the year.
recap of the yeah, that's right.
That's what it was.
Recap of the year. And I said in a Batman voice, let's go. And she kept it in the video and I was like, okay, well that's who I am. My thing is kind of funny voices.
Exactly.
Don't do them a lot on here because I'm not gonna offend people because some of them are very bad. But um it's what I do. I just have a good time a lot of the time.
He does.
And it wasn't it was just fun. I liked it.
He does do the voices. We used to do episodes where, because I film inside, right? He films outside. He's filmed in the dark before. And I think there was one episode where there was a noise and you like freaked out. You jumped like out of your chair and you're just like, and you're like, oh my gosh. She's like, that better have been something or whatever you said. But
I
it's just
don't like the dark. I mean, I'm okay with the dark. It's not my favorite thing.
why did we film in the dark?
I think both of us were just busy during the day, and I think it was like the day or two before it needed to go up.
See, this is why we now schedule our content and we film on specific days. And so it's like, and we film during the day, like light time, not in the dark. Why did we do that?
I don't know. But this is filmed a month in advance before you guys even see this, just because we're trying to get better with that and not trying to be as scrunched for time. Yeah, before it might have been, I mean, it wasn't convenient, but it was just when we had. But right now we've gotten to the point where we're scheduled, like we're out a ways.
Exactly.
We have some videos filmed that aren't going to be coming out until the end of like December.
Just because we want to get ahead, because you never know, something could come up and we're not going to be able to film like we would have before. So
yeah, like if one of us gets sick right now, then we have that period of like
where we can relax. Yeah,
exactly. And the other person can because everything's edited and up on YouTube, the other person's able to do whatever needs to be done with uploading and things if it needs to happen.
Exactly. So we definitely schedule in advance. But like some of my favorite bloopers, here's a blooper y'all will never see. And I'm going to tell you this because you know what? This is all documented for us later on. We filmed this video a couple days ago. And we did not hit, well, no, I'll say we did hit record, but it was not recording.
Yeah.
We filmed the whole video.
Very upsetting.
It was a good video too.
It was. That's why if either one of our energies are not like 100% for this video,
we're still disappointed over that.
We are disappointed, but we know that this needs to get filmed. But the first video, if you guys would have seen that one, it covered same stuff we're talking about now, but it was a lot better. It was a very good video. It
would have been like the best 1 year anniversary video, like all the emotions, all the energy, you know. But you know what? Sometimes
like a minute and a half laugh attack in the middle, which is gonna happen when Reagan tells you my funniest or her funniest.
Sometimes life does not go as planned, and you know what? You gotta roll with the punches. So you know that's what we're doing today. So there's a blooper you guys will never see because the content is not there.
We've never seen it.
Exactly. We didn't even get to see it. Me and Zach had a swell conversation for 40 minutes.
Exactly. Going over all this stuff. It was just we were preparing ourselves for this moment right now.
Exactly. We were just practicing, readying up.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about
this.
One thing that we talked about, which I didn't even want to bring up, but I am because it is funny. We were talking about whether it was like, what do you call like a group of, is it deer?
No.
Somebody had brought something up. I will go over what I called it, but I called it, we started going over things and I was like, is it moose?
We were talking about geese.
No, geese. Geese, goose, guy.
But then I said, is it like meese or is it moose? And you go, it's my.
It's mine.
What is my?
It's like octopus because you don't say octopuses, it's octopi. That's what my thought process was.
It's not. It's moose.
No, I know it's not. I know it's moose. So no Canadians better be coming after me.
Exactly. Lots of funny moments. Lots of funny moments here on the channel.
What's your funny moment. I'm gonna die and I'm gonna die in just a second because I'm gonna laugh. We're gonna have,
Um,
we're gonna have to do
my favorite funny moment was we were talking about soil. You're talking about like mulch and
mulching.
stuff. And what was it? We're talking about don't volcano your plants. Why? Because you'll suffocate the roots. And Zach, being the man that he is, wanting to form analogies to
No,
make you
no, no.
understand. No, no, no. Let me
Wait,
finish. Let
no.
me finish.
Before
Let
she
me
said
finish.
man that I am, that is not. I am still a boy. That is what we are going with
You
before
are
anybody comes for me.
whatever. Man, boy, meese, moose, my, whatever.
My
Ready?
favorite guy. Sorry, that was a little cheesy, but it's where my brain.
So dumb. What was that?
I don't know. You started naming things. I was like, my favorite guy. Now I'm all red. I look like
So am I. Okay. Favorite moment. Okay. Being the guy that he is. You can't deny that.
no. I can't.
You can't. Okay. He goes and wants to because he wants to make you guys understand what we're talking about. So he makes up analogies. And he says, think of it this way. The roots are like a family. And when you volcano your mulch, you're suffocating the roots. So think of it this way. The roots are like a family, and it's like they're in a burning house and they're suffocating. I'm shocked that video didn't get taken down.
I am too.
Your
Again, not my proudest
analogies.
moment. Not my
Oh my
proudest.
gosh, your analogies.
They're usually a lot better than that, and it was not my proudest moment. I'm pretty sure in the video I begged her to take it out. I was like, take it out, take it out, take it out.
No,
I was
I
okay with
left it. No,
it. Yeah,
I left it.
I was fine with it. It's
The
fun. It's fun.
the joys of
Funny.
me being the editor. I get to keep the parts that I want. And I get to take out the parts I want.
I know.
So I
It's
keep
the
all the
scary
parts
part.
of you in. Because you're
She takes over
entertaining.
I try to be.
You are a very entertaining fella.
I try to be.
You
Favorite
don't
guy.
you don't need to try. Why do you keep saying that?
I don't know. It's now stuck inside my
Guys,
head.
favorite guy in the comments.
I mean, obviously. I went
Obviously.
last night. I was like, I sound narcissistic. I really do. I told you this once.
I'm gonna rep a t-shirt with favorite guy in Zach's head.
You could. Same thing with Mater Hater.
I just got okay. Yeah, you rock the Mater Hater with my
No,
face on it.
I completely forgot about that moment. That's still one of my favorite. That's one of my funniest moments is because I said that. I've called her that a lot, not on the podcast explicitly, but I I call her that a lot because she doesn't like tomatoes, which I understand that is an acquired taste.
Some
And
people are just freaking addicted to it.
I can sit down and eat 3 pounds every day for a week. I did this year.
It's unhealthy.
Look at me. I am a tomato.
I know that they're gonna be growing out your ears.
I wish.
Do you though?
That would be fun. I do. I wish.
I don't know if you wish that. Yes, guys, I love growing plants, but I am picky when it comes to vegetables.
You're a Mater Hater.
I am definitely a Mater hater. And you can ask my mom. She's got to force me to eat my vegetables. I'm going to be 18, and my mom still makes me eat my broccoli.
Oh, I ate my broccoli willingly.
Broccoli's
Broccoli,
disgusting.
carrots,
No.
squash, onions, everything.
Listen,
Everything.
I just don't like things. I don't like them raw. I'll eat them cooked. I'll eat them in things. I just don't particularly care for those things raw.
I'll eat a raw onion. I really don't care.
I'll eat a tomato in any other form, not raw. I can't
Maybe
do
if
it.
y'all are lucky enough, we'll post the video of her dying with a tomato.
We can do that.
That's up to you. That's your video.
Oh,
I
that
remember,
video.
yeah, I remember she sent it. She said it's gonna live on forever because she sent it to me and I instantly saved it. Didn't even watch it. She just told me what it was. Saved that thing at least 4 or 5 different times. It's on my phone everywhere.
You're a little obsessed.
Just a little bit.
He wanted to see the Mater hater dying. She's still here, folks.
No, that would be upsetting if she died. Y'all don't
Yeah.
know what I go through. I get funny looks because I'm sitting on my front porch right now. Cars going through, and they're just like, "Hey, what is he doing?" Like I'm filming here.
We could all ask the same question. What are you doing?
I'm existing.
Just I am existing. Sparkles at each end. Zach's face. Put it on a t-shirt. I'm
Tomatoes
just saying. I am existing.
With my favorite guy written on it.
What's up with you and my favorite guy?
No.
He's obsessed with it. Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about our big idea for this winter and new segments coming to the podcast. Round of applause for that. Oh, all the way around. All the way around town. Yes, we're excited. Clap your hands in the comments.
Can I get a drum roll, please?
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about the ideas coming to the podcast, the new segments. We're so excited. We hope that we can do it. But
it's going to happen regardless. If it's like the idea that we have in our head, it's going to be really good, though.
Okay, here's the plan, guys. Let us know if you want it to happen. Even if you don't want it to happen, we're probably going to do it anyway. But let us know. Exactly, because we're the host. We're the hosts. We're the hosts of this. Yeah, that was corny. He's weird, guys. He's weird.
Incredibly. I feel sorry for if anybody meets me.
I mean,
during HOA.
Yeah. If you're going
have we
to
announced
HOA,
that we're going to be going?
This goes up before or after HOA anyway.
It goes up during HOA.
Goes up during HOA. We'll be at HOA. Anyway.
When you're watching us, we're there.
Yeah, we're there. If you see us, get a picture. You may not want to get a picture with us.
You'll want to get a picture with Reagan. With me, I would not advise.
You gotta get a selfie stick for him. He's tall. New idea, okay? Over winter, there is this thing called seasonal depression. And was that just like, do you want to say something? Or was just like little sparkle hand for effects?
Seasonal depression.
Seasonal depression.
No, it's not a good time for a lot of people.
Especially gardeners and farmers and people who want to be outside, but they are limited. So our thought process is, let's start a segment where we invite other content creators, other farmers, gardeners, chicken keepers, whatever. We bring you on the podcast for a bunch of different segments. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys 30 minutes each. We're willing to do for the rest of from January to April.
The end of April.
Yeah, we're willing to do all those podcasts can be collabs. We're totally down for that. We
have 2 allotted times for it. Honestly, it would be January to the first week in April or all the way to the end of April. We're good either way as long as we have the people, but they're still going to be podcast style videos.
Yeah,
Still going to be labeled as podcasts, just how we've done it with Ocean, how we did it with Molly.
but we're gonna have them with special guests. Yeah.
Just because so we can have more people on and gardeners so they can talk about their passions and what they're doing in the garden.
Exactly.
Giving people new ideas, new perspectives than just our own. We've always wanted to do this, and we're hoping that this is going to be a really good thing with everybody.
It'll keep you from the boredom. If you want to just come on and just talk, go crazy. You got 30 minutes here on the podcast. If you just want to talk to us about your chickens, go for it. We'd love to hear it. We can invite a lot of different people on. If you know anybody that you'd like to see on the podcast, let us know in the comments, and we'll pick out and we'll bring people that we think would be great for the podcast. Family friendly, obviously. And just that we think would help grow your knowledge and educate you a bit more, keep us all from boredom. And I think it's a great time to be able to schedule, because during the times like this summer, whenever we did want to do collabs with, not summer, because we didn't start, this summer. Duh. During the summer when we wanted to do collabs with gardeners, they were busy with, gardening and harvesting and stuff, and it just gets busy. So exactly, being able to have that downtime but also keep content going, because we're not going to be able to do vlogs anymore because we have nothing to film. It's winter. There's no garden. The chickens are just doing their thing in the snow. There's nothing really we can post on here besides podcasts. So we hope this works. But if you know anybody that you'd like to see on the podcast, if you'd like to be on the podcast, maybe you're an account that you think, yeah, that'd be fun to do a collab. We'll check out your channel, check out your Instagram, whatever, and we'll shoot you a message if we think that it's something that would be of value to our channel. So we hope that we can make this work, and I think it's going to be a really fun twist, fun new segment to bring to the podcast, and just, add some things. We're coming to the new year, and it's like, we're setting, now that it's been a year, we're setting new goals. We're setting new things we want to accomplish. We are raising that bar. We'd like to hit more subscribers, and a lot more views, and just grow the channel a significant amount every year, even if it is just a month, where our goal is to just keep on growing and keep educating. And so this coming year, hoping to bring some more new things to the channel, some new people, new faces, and we hope you guys stick around to watch us do this, to watch us grow,
We're going to do things. I mean, we're bringing things to show you guys different ways of doing things, different accounts that we think are, if these people say yes, of course, new accounts that have brought something different, that we've seen something in them, and we're like, hey, you're really knowledgeable in the area that, like, whatever it is, because we want to do like general homestead talk and just one-on-one with other chicken keepers as well, because it's still our thing, and just find people who fill in different niches. Like, we've always wanted to talk to beekeepers and cattle, people who raise cattle, goat keepers, all areas. We really want to incorporate all of that into the channel. We're not knowledgeable in those areas. Yeah, we might have some experience here or there, but nowhere near as much as some other people.
Exactly.
And we want to branch out more for other things, because it's from the farmyard. It's not just with us. And we've always wanted to do more things with people. Like, we have 5-year plans and we have all that, but like right now, for a 1-year plan, it would be helping to get towards the 5-year plan, obviously. And it's something that we think would be really beneficial to bring on. And everybody, like you said, everybody's all farmers, homesteaders, gardeners, everybody's in the downtime in winter. Like, you're not hatching out chicks, you're not hatching out ducklings, you're not having your animals kidding in the middle of winter. So yeah.
So coming soon. Really excited about it. But yeah, let us know if there's anybody you'd like to see. And we're coming to the end of this episode. And as we're coming to the end of this episode, it's been a year. We're coming to the end of a whole year of podcasting. And it's been a privilege to do this for you guys. And as your host, we're so grateful and
yes, incredibly grateful.
Incredibly, like, for all the support from our viewers, from our friends, family, and now you guys from Gusta.
Thank you.
we're yeah, so thankful. Yeah. And now you guys, our farmyard friends and family, we're so blessed. And just, yeah, we wouldn't be here without you guys and the constant support. So
it's bittersweet.
It is.
It's sad that we've seen a year forever, but it's also incredibly grateful that we've made it a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not giving up anytime soon.
Exactly.
This will be something that's going on forever.
And it's an exciting thing. It's an exciting
thing. We'll be
thing.
80 and still doing this.
80?
80.
We're going to be 80?
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
We can do it. We can do
80. We'll be here till we're 80, folks. If you want to stick around, do it. If you don't, we'll still be here.
Exactly. No, maybe not that long, but we're going to be here for a long time. Exactly. And once 5-year plan, once we get into the next areas of our lives and growing an actual property, all of that will be documented here, as well as separate channels and everything like that, but also just bringing more tutorials. Same thing for next year. We're going to be bringing on more tutorials, more videos, more vlogs, and things like that. So incredibly happy about the next year and next 5, 10 years.
Exactly. More to come, more years to come. This is just one, many more coming soon. And we hope you guys stick around for many more. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for the constant support. We love you guys, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Thank y'all. Love you. Bye.